What's good, YouTube? Dmgaming here, guys. And this morning, I want to discuss, or rather, talk about how there's going to be some differences from the stuff that we've seen and what we'll get upon release for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Guys, y'all know the routine. If you can, share the video with as many people as possible. Also, you can follow me on all these social media platforms. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. We're approaching 4,000 subscribers. And I'm very grateful for that. As I say all the time, I'm very grateful for the subscribers. I'm grateful for the support. And I just ask that you continue to support the channel. So today, like I said, hopefully this doesn't lag out. If it does, I'm sorry. I apologize ahead of time. But Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, there's some things, and this is with every game. You see certain things in the early build of these games and in the demos, and we kind of judge the game off of that. Guys, everything that we saw was early. Even this gameplay here, with Goku fighting, at this point he's going to be going against Raditz later on and stuff like that. This is all early build of the game. The flight mechanics, things like that. I'm not so much the controls, but just, how some people say, well, the flying doesn't seem so smooth. And guys, they have plenty of time and they could have already, polished up a lot of these things. You see betas, for example. A lot of games that are online have betas. This game is not online. Doesn't mean they can't have a beta. And it's a possibility they could. I don't think they will, but they could. You never know. But sometimes game developers and publishers, they'll put out beta builds in order for, if it's an online game, to test the servers. If it's not online, they'll put out a beta just so, you could probably try to find bugs and things like that, But the point of all of this is this. Guys, we have some issues. There are issues that are known in the community, such as Goku's gi. And like the Super Saiyans, when they're Super Saiyan and they're charging their ki, it's still blue. CyberConnect 2 knows about these issues. They know these things. And I said this in earlier videos that the level of detail that they're putting in their game, it's surprising to me that they would let something like Goku's gi against Raditz be an issue. Or when the Super Saiyans are charging their ki, that it's still blue. It's almost dumb to say, hey, don't they see that? Of course they see it. Of course they know. These guys are Dragon Ball fans. They're anime fans. They know that when Super Saiyans charge their ki, it's not blue. So it's like, well, why is it blue in the demo? Why is it blue? Because those are demo builds. I really believe that they see those things, and when we get the final build of the game, that those things will be corrected. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of one of those things like, how is this game so detailed, yet when it's like those little things like that go overlooked, and it's not so much a balancing issue. It's not a coding issue. I mean, they can make it happen. There's no problem, but it is a concern for a lot of people. Some people are even turned off by those small details. I've heard people in the comments saying, well, they don't even have Goku's outfit right against Raditz. And then you look into other Dragon Ball games and they have it right, where Goku's in the appropriate gi in the fight with Raditz, where they have, hey, Super Saiyan's charging their ki. Why is it blue? Super Saiyan's keys are never blue when they're charging. I just feel comfortable saying that CyberConnect 2 is going to get that right. When we get the final build of the game, people are going to say, oh, it is golden. It was blue in the demo build. That's because it's a demo build. It's early build of the game. You see what I'm saying? Now, you may ask the question, well, why didn't they make it gold to start out with, whatever. They could have still been working on those things, those player models and stuff like that. It's a lot that goes into game development that we never hear about, we never see, and that we wouldn't understand unless we're sitting there and somebody is showing us this. And I kind of alluded to that in a couple of videos ago when I was telling y'all, for them to be able to change one thing, like if you changed one thing in the game, it would affect something else in the game. So you would have to make sure that everything is right, because video games are coding. It's coding. It's a bunch of numbers and commands and things like that. And it all works together to form what we see as a video game. So when you adjust one thing, there's a pretty good chance you're gonna have to adjust something else to balance it out, you know. But guys, I mean, as far as detail go, like they're wanting this game to be the most detailed Dragon Ball game ever. I mean, they wanted to mirror the manga, mirror the anime. They wanted you to be immersed in this experience. And it's amazing to me how well they're doing with this. And it's like they're finally using the power of these next generation consoles or current gen with the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, you know, and it raises the question to me, like, if there even is a Xenoverse 3, where's Xenoverse 3 gonna be? You see what I'm saying? You know, I don't think a Xenoverse 3. I think if there is a Xenoverse 3, I think it'll come out on next generation console. I don't think it'll come out on PlayStation 4. If I was to guess, I would say it could be announced this summer. I know that may sound crazy to be like, well, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot's coming out in January. Why would they announce a new Dragon Ball game again in this summer? Well, because they need to put out a new Dragon Ball game every year. You know what I'm saying? And it's time for it. There's no reason for them not to make a Xenoverse 3. You know what I'm saying? And I guess with this video, I'm kind of going off in the left field, but that is something that needs to be discussed, you know, about the next Xenoverse. This game is going to be fantastic. This game is going to want people to sit back and look and say, we want more. And people are going to play this game. Xenoverse players see this game and they say that I want this, but with created character. So the discussion comes up, you know, what happens with the next Xenoverse? What happens with the sequel to this game? People are even already talking about a sequel. You know, Xenoverse 1 and 2 sold 5 million copies apiece. That is more than any Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball game, period, has sold. No games have sold more copies than Xenoverse. Not even Dragon Ball Fighterz. I don't even think Dragon Ball Fighterz has. Unless they're 11. They're close. They sold over 1 million for sure. So, you know, financially, business-wise, there has to be another one. You know, and so we have to discuss that. And I want to let y'all know down in the comment section down below. Let me know, because eventually, guys, this game is going to come out. We're going to cover this game, but even I have to think about what's next for the channel. So if Xenoverse 3 needs to be in the discussion, let me know down in the comment section down below. If y'all want to talk sequels to this game, let me know in the comment section down below. You know, all that, you know, because I want to keep it Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Fighterz, you know, I don't cover Dragon Ball Fighterz that much because I don't really play it that much. I like fighting games. I'm a casual fighting game. I'm not as serious when it comes to fighting games as I am with RPGs and stuff like that. So that's why I'm bringing it up. But this game, because, you know, getting back on topic of the level of detail and things like that, this game is going to raise the bar. And some people can say that Dragon Ball Fighterz raised the bar, that Fighterz was very detailed. Fighterz is a detailed game. It looks amazing. You know what I'm saying? But as far as living in the anime, like when I heard about Xenoverse, you know, I thought that Xenoverse was going to be more like this, more of a open sandbox, free roam RPG style game. And it wasn't. You know, it was basically Budokai with a open hub world that you can fly around in, you know. And the story was good in the first Xenoverse, but in the second one, it was literally the same thing, you know. And that's not a problem because, I mean, look at this. This is the same story, you know, but there are some additions to it. Same way it was in Xenoverse 2. There were some tweaks. The story did continue. But what I would have rather had in Xenoverse 2 was that the story picked up immediately where the other one left off, but it didn't. They kind of went back in time again in a sense. But what do you expect, you know? So now, like I said, it brings us to the question, with the level of detail that CyberConnect 2 is doing with this game, it really makes you ask the question, what's next for Dragon Ball games? Is this setting a new precedent? You know, is Bandai Namco going to say, hey, we kind of want CyberConnect 2 to make all of our Dragon Ball games from now on? Because in my opinion, from what I've seen in gameplay, from what I've seen in trailers, screenshots, things like that, CyberConnect 2 has done a better job with Dragon Ball than Dimps ever has. And that's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I'm not talking about combat systems and stuff like that. I'm talking about the overall experience. If you was to line these games up, line this game up with Xenoverse, tit for tat, and the only advantage that Xenoverse would have over this game is that you can create a character. Now, imagine if CyberConnect 2 did create a character. And I think that we would have hair that when you go Super Saiyan, it would actually change along with the character instead of just changing color. I think that's very lazy from the Xenoverse 2 developers to do that. I don't think netcode would be an issue. You know what I mean? CyberConnect 2 don't really pride themselves on online games for the most part. You know, most of their games, the Dragon Ball, the anime games are offline. Even in Naruto games, there was some online element to it, but the game was cored and centered more around single player or offline local play, kind of like the opposite of Call of Duty, where Call of Duty has the campaign and they focus more on multiplayer. CyberConnect 2's anime games are the opposite because they want to give you an immersive experience, and I would be cool with that. Like, for example, if CyberConnect 2 was the developer behind Xenoverse 3, you know, which they're not, but if Dimps could take something away from these guys, like say, we need to do that. This is what people want. Because I want you to just imagine Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but with creative character. People would lose their minds. Oh my gosh, this is, you know, that's the next step. In my opinion, that would be the next step. If you want Bandai Namco to sell a game, a Dragon Ball game that's going to top this, that's going to top Fighterz, create a game like this, improve the combat. Guys, on a sequel to this game, they're going to improve the combat. That's no doubt. But also add creative character. And in my opinion, as far as creating a story, hey, let Akira Toriyama do some story writing. You know, let CyberConnect 2 get involved with some story because, I mean, they do a good job with story. They do a good job with cinematics and things like that. I mean, just like I said, picture this game with creative character, and we're looking at a monster of a game, you know, a game that could rival this one as well as the Xenoverses and Dragon Ball Fighterz. You see what I'm saying? So that's something that we really need to consider. That's something that we really need to ask ourselves, you know, as far as like the detail that they're putting in this game, what is next for Dragon Ball games? And I guess more or less, that's really what I should title this video, as opposed to what I said before, you know, telling y'all about the details that we don't have to worry about, you know. And guys, I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I intended this video one way, but it ended up another way. And that's why I like recording this live. I don't edit my videos. I just like to record and talk to you guys. Turn on the mic and let's talk. You see what I'm saying? I don't script my videos. I don't think about what I'm gonna do my video on. I just whatever I'm gonna do it on, I just turn on the mic, I turn on OBS, and I hit record. This video has went into a different direction. And if you're upset about that, I apologize. But God, I love the conversation. You know, I love the discussion because you're hearing the ideas shuffle around in my head and come out through the mic. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting. Let me know what y'all think about that. Like, what's the next step for Dragon Ball games? What level does this sit the game on that's going to take it to the next level? Like, because Fighterz did set a pretty high bar. Xenoverse set it high. Fighterz did do an amazing job as far as the fighting mechanics and the characters and stuff like that, and it's still growing. And now we have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It's like the games are finally getting better and better, not to mention we're diving into different genres of games. For example, Fighterz is a fighting game. It's for fighting game fans. This one, Kakarot, is an RPG, you know, so are we going to have... well, we got Dragon Ball, Super Dragon Ball Heroes. That's a turn-based style game. You know what I'm saying? So what's next for Dragon Ball Z games? If this and Dragon Ball Fighterz, and even Xenoverse to a degree, is any indication of where their Bandai's going with the Dragon Ball franchise, it's only going up. You see what I'm saying? So let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. I appreciate y'all's time. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.